How old is the oldest cemetery in Belfast, do you think? 300 years? 4? It might surprise you to learn that the oldest cemetery in the city is thought to be some 1500 years old and is located in West Belfast. Come with me to the Shankill Graveyard on a rather wet afternoon. The first church known to be built on the site was in the 1300s, and there are archaeological finds supporting a usage hundreds of years before that. Importantly, this was a graveyard for all denominations. It wasn't ascribed to any particular church, and there's still some evidence of that in the remaining headstones. Located at the top end of the Shankill Road just before the Woodville, today the Shankill Graveyard is a pleasant parkland space, with tarmac paths and seating encouraging the casual visitor to spend time here. It's quiet and away from the main bustle of the Shankill itself. In the 1830s, in the wake of the Burke and Hare scandal in Edinburgh, a watch house was erected on the grounds by William Sayers and Israel Milliken, allowing fresh burials to be supervised in a bid to deter the resurrectionists from desecrating the bodies of loved ones. The base of this structure survives today. During its lifespan, something like 500,000 interments filled the grounds. Bodies were packed so tightly that plots abutted, and instead of the normal 7 feet depth from surface to coffin, in much of the graveyard, bodies were deposited less than a foot under the ground. In fact, in 1869, space was so tight that a mass exhumation took place that resulted in some horrific scenes. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll tell you more about that in a future video. By 1914, the graveyard was a tightly packed forest of headstones, as captured in this photo by A.R. Hogg. Sadly, only a small selection of headstones remain in the graveyard today, mostly positioned by the outer walls, some of them beautiful with ornate script and decoration, and the earliest of these dating back to 1685. A decision was made in the 1930s to close the neglected graveyard and turn it into a parkland. At the end of the 1950s, work began to clear the land of trees, plants and headstones. Efforts were made to record as many of the headstone inscriptions as possible for posterity, but the majority of the post-1800 stones were deliberately removed and destroyed, as many of the graves were no longer attended by family. Where those stones ended up isn't clear, presumably as fill for roads and developments. The Shankill Graveyard of today isn't the Gothic playground of a century ago, but it is well looked after and includes memorials to infant deaths, as well as victims of the famine, victims of the Blitz, and a modern cremation memorial garden. Do check it out if you get a chance. I'm Robert J.E. Simpson. Tell me in the comments if you'd like to hear more about the Shankill Graveyard's more gruesome past, and don't forget to like, follow and share for more weird and wonderful places and local histories.